Hello everyone, my name is Axel. Hello. How to overcome and control our fear? What is fear? It is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or a threat. Fear. It is okay to experience fear. Fear is something that we should have control over. To be afraid of something is completely fine, because fear is something that makes us more careful when we are doing whatever it is we're doing. We can control our own fear, and we should. At least we should not allow fear to dominate our mind. For example, young people. I'm afraid of failing in my business, so I won't be doing it. That is an example of fear of failure. The fear of failure often stems from a fear of experiencing shame or embarrassment. Failing can trigger feelings of worthlessness, so avoiding trying in the first place can sometimes serve as a way to protect the self from disappointment, regret, and sadness. When kept in check, a healthy fear of failure can be positive and lead us to better plan, focus, and prepare for the future. But when a fear of failure grows out of control, it can become paralyzing and isolating. Do not let the fear dominate your mind. Find out the steps for your goal. Make a plan. Find out what is most likely to happen for worst case scenario and best case scenario. Fear is a trait to have, but you must be able to manage it, or else it may dominate your mind and you won't be doing anything anytime soon. When you are pursuing your dream job, it requires sacrifice and struggles. You will need an open mind and a big heart. If the results are not satisfying, you also need persistence and sincerity, and you must also keep trying until the end. When you are done, you may and finally will find the good things that comes after. It's not easy, and it won't be, but I'm sure you can do it if you don't give up and never give up. You must try and fight until the end of whatever it was you are pursuing, where it will finally bear the fruit of the struggle you've been through, turning it into a success. The result will become something you're proud of. We face our fears for a reason. It helps us to grow. And if you don't overcome your fears, you will never move from where you are. You will never develop a growth mindset and become a person of action, a person of change, and you will never succeed. Instead, you will remain stuck in the same situation. If you haven't succeeded, it is not the end yet. Keep trying and don't give up.
Have you ever been free from fear? If not, then you are being colonized by your own feelings. Fear of losing a job, fear of losing influence, fear of being betrayed by a partner, fear of being shunned by friends, fear of not being accepted by society, fear of not getting a mate, fear of past experience, even afraid of his one's shadow. Fear is also a colonizer. Yes, everyone has problem. What differs is the level of fear of each of what is felt and taught. How many people are ultimately completely destroyed because of the magnitude of the fear that is created itself. The freedom fighter are people who have no fear, not afraid of invaders, who have modern weapons, not afraid to lose hope, not afraid of death either. Intention and courage united in one unanimous determination against colonialism. There is only one choice: freedom or death. Freedom will be happy. On the other hand, traitors are cowards. Fear of living, of poverty, fear of losing the opportunity to prosper. Also definitely afraid of death. For traitors, death in the struggle is a misfortune to be shunned. Death is an unspeakable misfortune. Death will hinder worldly desires, and that for them is pinnacle of failure and suffering. In psychology, people who are excessively afraid of something will always appear typical behavior, whatever they realize it or not. For example, a person who is very afraid to crocuses, he will scream hysterically when he sees them. When passing through dark streets, people sing, run fast, or listen to music with earphones to drive away their fear. To avoid the acute feeling of losing influence, one must fight with the insight that power belongs only to God. To reduce the fear of being betrayed by your partner, you must have the courage to trust your partner. To get rid of the fear of being shunned by friends, you must be able to think positive of others. To reduce of fear of not getting a mate, you must add faith that all mates are arranged, and it takes effort in order not be imprisoned by past fears. You must have the courage to change your mindset. Have we been free from fear until today?
Fear of rejection, fear of other people, perception of taking a step, fear of not being able to. It's fear that's always blocked anyway. It's fear that's always block anyone, not just young people. It is fear that always prevent anyone from reaching their potential, from achieving what they should be able to do. And my message to you, it's all about courage, not fear. Fear is something that is natural, because fear makes us careful. Fear cannot be eliminated, but they must control that fear. So as long as we can overcome that fear, don't worry about what people think of you. Never be too afraid. Never be afraid to feel. Never be afraid to start. Never be afraid of being incompetent. If you can control it, you can go further ahead. So there will always be fear. But I have my whole formula. That courage requires fear. That courage requires fear. But that's not all. Courage, fear, action, commitment. So a brave person is not someone who has no fear, but a brave person is one who has fear. Even though he was scared, but he keep going. They keep doing the things they should been doing, and they had commitment to truly Persevere until the end, until that achieve what that one.
Never be afraid. If we experience things like things like life struggle, our surface that's of only kind. If we don't have mistake, how do we know that's right? Every human beings has different style and from every style that because before there are valuable life lesson that we want to verify from Ferris, Mr. Ferris. We can learn that the trial that before has are strongly have God's gift to check ourselves. Life problems have become part of life. If you want to be like a diamond, you must be ready to expect fissure and fissure because it's formation forces. If if you are suddenly being squeezed to the point of watching to dreams, stay strong, keep a good attitude even thought is every defied. Sometimes you have to admit that you have weakness, but you also
Fear. Everyone must have it. But don't let this fear burden us and make us afraid to move forward. Because this fear is a very natural thing that everyone has. Fear is our brain natural response to let us know that we are in a dangerous state on a state of threat. This applies, for example, we are in a lonely streets and meet a stranger. Our brain will give a signal that we have to run. But if we are in a crowded place, surely we will not to run. This is another energy from our brain that can naturalize that we are in a calming situation, like wish in our life. When we face challenge and problem in our life, our natural response is that we may be afraid. And with that fear, it can be that if it is excessive, it makes us not want to face the problem or think about solution to this problem. And that definitely not what we want. How to do it? The trick is that we have to measure our fear, so we have to make that fear into an action for us. To do so, that the fear goes away gradually. For example, we are a student and you are afraid that you will not graduate on time and become a successful child. Of course, you can give in to this fear by being a person who likes to shut down and also blame yourself by injuring yourself into you don't find a solution to the problem you're facing. But all you have to do is start hanging out with other people, give good advice to your friend, and importantly, give yourself time to study and how to manage time. This is one tactics we can use to judge our fear. So, if you are facing a problem in your life, don't stop because you are afraid. Measure your fear, take action, do your job, and just do it.
Okay, this time I will discuss how to turn your fear into your secret weapon. You know, I've heard many express say that fear is real. The fear is real in faith. There are probably things you are afraid to do right now in your life, in your relationship, at work, and the fact that you are afraid of it robs you of all the experience you would like to have in your life. I mean, if you're afraid of flying, it will limit your ability to travel and see the world or visit friends. Idea, if you're afraid to talk to your boss or ask for a raise, if the affect the amount of business, but you are afraid to talk to people and you're afraid to share your business with other people. I mean, fear is something that stops us all, and that's why I'm here to talk to you because you don't have to fear Israel. It could be before you start trying to do something, you have backup of because you are haunted by fear. Therefore, the most effective way to get rid of fear is to face it. At first might seem difficult, but over time you will get used to it until the fear goes away on its own. According to the mental health foundation, one way to conquer, overcome, or eliminate excessive fear is to identify their trigger first. If possible, try to journal every time you feel overly fearful. In fact, one of the simple ways to get through it of fear to face the fear itself. Maybe this sounds very difficult to do, but the don'ts mean you can do it right. Constantly avoiding the things that make you feel afraid will only hinder things that your soul wanted to do. It called be before you trying to do something to you have become.
Overcoming fear is one of the greatest moves a person can make. First off, we have to ask ourselves what causes fear. Fear is caused by ignorance, not knowing. And if we're gonna know and do anything new, we will break out of paradigm. We were gonna change habit patterns. We're wandering into an area we've never been. And fear stops most people. You'll find people afraid to talk to a stranger. You'll find individuals afraid to stand up and ask a question in front of other people. You'll find salespeople afraid to make a sales call, afraid to ask for the order. Stop and think of how confining that is. A person is putting themselves into a small cell, but is in their own mind. The doors are locked. They can open, and you can walk away to freedom if you learn to overcome fear. When you face fear, it'll leave you. Face the thing you fear and it'll leave you. That's really the secret of it. In fact, if you hold yourself back because of fear, your life actually comes to a stop because nothing gets better than it is. You've got to be courageous. Now, courageous people aren't without fear. Courageous people are the ones that face their fear. I think Eddie Rickenbacker pointed that out, the great pilot. Don't let fear stop you. Make up your mind and you're gonna step out and do it. Stop and think of the number of people that are in jobs that they don't like and they're afraid to leave. Or people in relationships that are destructive and they're afraid to leave. This is a terrible way to live and it's not necessary. It's just caused by ignorance. And when we step out and do something, we gain an awareness, develop and understanding. And like that, the fear is good. Make up your mind that fear is not gonna stop you from doing the thing you really wanna do. Step out and do it today.